Just get on the horse and ride.
Sail.
We're doing a stream buffer. Alright. Let's do.
We streaming?
Yeah, we're live. We should be live everywhere.
Sup, my dude?
Looks like it.
My dudes.
I'm just gonna let the stream warm up for a couple seconds while I set up the marinara timer.
Oh.
Marinara.
Ah, damn it.
Alright. Oh, right.
I like how 3 characters are missing.
Just X's. Okay. Now, what does this one do again? I forgot what one of my abilities did already, guys.
Rip.
Neat.
Oh.
Perfect timing.
Hey, if you
Nice.
go to marinaratimer.com/runelords, you should be able to see it.
Marinara timer?
Marinara timer.
/runelords. Sorry, timer, not
Bookmark
timers.
that shit, boys.
Is that just gonna be ours forever now?
I think it's
Yup.
gonna be saved for a while,
Learn
and
how
I
to
also need
spell
to turn off my phone to
crap.
mute sounds. Alright, so
In there.
Sheik
My dude.
and sorry, not Sheik, Sigis and Silera. I do
Yeah.
believe
That is Sheik.
I believe you are
Hey, dude.
on summary duty. So
Yep.
figure it out. Tell me what happened last time.
Well, I can start from kind of my half if that works. So I'll be
Sure.
honest, I'm a little thrown off because I'm trying to figure out how this marinara timer works because I didn't know that's what we were using before, so I was really confused by the timer. Anyways, um,
Oh God.
whole new world. So, through the secret passage. Around this time, in a galaxy far, far away, a demon ripped off Robin's face and possibly possessed him with something. So that was sad and also ominous. So the rest of us entered into this slanted room. We found a trap. That trap then lodged a bunch of spinning, swirling blades into Ra, who was sad about that. It was more upsetting too when the demonish boss, not the demon boss, but like a demon possessing person, came around with the wizard and proceeded to light us up with range through grates through the portcullises. So that was really bad. Ra dropped, which was awful, and Khajiit dropped, and so we basically our offensive was really cut out. So we tried to fall back, saving Khajiit, as Ra's last words indicated. We then tried to bring Khajiit up, and then he ran into a hole. So we decided to run away. During that, Chiwat did not make it to the stairs. Sigas had fled, stole half the research and plans. I was going to go back and help Chiwat when Silera came around the corner, which was great to see her and the team because we're like, oh my god, more people. And then they said there was a giant scary demon around the corner and that we had to leave right now or we were all gonna die. So the 3 of us left and then everyone else died.
The end.
I mean,
The end.
I mean,
You said it.
I'll put it this way. It wasn't the best of summaries, but I'll give you a barely passing grade,
Okay.
which means
you did miss some things, but that's okay.
You also
Yeah.
sort of got some
Messed
stuff
up some stuff.
pretty,
Oh, did I?
pretty wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm
Ra
sorry.
actually made it through the trap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
tried to
just
disarm
dove.
it and failed, and I
Yes.
went further in, and then the boss lady came around and beat his ass. And then Ajit, seeing his master go down, ran into the trap, got sliced by the swords repeatedly, and then went down. And then he picked her up, moved her away, and then she ran back in. Then it dropped again.
Yeah,
And we all cried.
we all felt very bad.
Alright, Solera,
And
give
then-
me the summary of your half of the story.
So while they were inside, I was hanging out with Shadow Mist and making sure that she had enough food. And then I heard some noises, and so I went outside, trying to be as stealthy as I can be. And that's when I saw a familiar face, and it was Zaya. and so we kind of connected. We kind of remember each other briefly, but so we caught up very quickly, and I explained to them that we unfortunately split the party, and so I wanted to get back to them as soon as possible because it had been eerily quiet, and so we went to go find them, and that's when Zaya found Demon Dog and Robin, or what was left of Robin.
More accurate, yeah.
And not sure what happened with Robin. But so we were trying to attack the Demon Dog to get Robin back, and I was noticing that the cold iron arrows that I was using they weren't doing anything. And Zaya was also shooting, and then that's when Siggy appeared essentially, and then he was just like, "We got to go," and then I was just like, "Okay, that's fine," because this is doing nothing, and as much as I want to save Robin, we don't want everybody to die, and then we are in the process of trying to run away.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. The very last thing that happened last session was
Yeah,
that
Shalalu's having a breakdown, isn't she?
She's
Yeah.
losing it.
Shalalu,
There is.
Zaya, Sigis, and Celera, the four of you managed to run away from combat from the demons that were chasing after you. And just as you did, the group sort of fizzled out as the adrenaline of moments ago sort of dissolved, left their bodies. Shalelu managed to build a makeshift barricade against the door that you had just come out of, and she almost completely dropped to the floor. She's got her back against the door, and she's having a little bit of a breakdown. Um, and that we sort of had that cliffhanger last session. So give me just 1 second as I drop everyone onto the proper map. I had all the tokens in place. And I'm missing the token for Lelu. So one more moment as I try to figure out if I have Shalelu's token in
Rip
any
Sandy.
freaking map. It's a very good question. Also have like multiples of Sigis on different screens.
Okay, apparently that's what that button does.
Did you go
Surprise
out
button?
of Roll20?
Yeah. Yeah, because I've got the new buttons on my mouse. I accidentally pressed one. Apparently it's back.
Well, rip. Turns out I kind of deleted the only working token for Shalelu, so we'll have to do with this one for now.
Welcome back, Sandy.
Yeah, apparently I set down my phone and hit the disconnect button.
Oof.
I was like, why
Dumb.
did it get so quiet?
Lol.
Why
kinda
did
funny.
everyone just stop talking? What did I do? And then I looked.
We're doing
Right.
a moment of silence.
So, yeah. So let's get the session going proper. You sort of managed to barricade this door over here, and Shalelu sort of drops her back against the door and is like half kneeling. She's sort of slouched against the closed door, covered in broken pieces of the other doors that you've gone through quite violently during your initial incursion. Yeah. Valera, Sigis?
Is everyone okay?
Um,
Oh,
I
God.
like physically, yes.
Okay, that's what I mean. Is physical. everyone physically
Yeah.
okay?
Yes, yeah. Fine. We gotta go though.
Yeah, we need to.
They'll be chasing after us in any minute now.
We
Yes.
need to we can't help anything right now. We need to get out and get help. Where is that horse?
Around the corner, by that bed that we knocked over. I'm gonna go as quickly as I possibly can to see if I can lead her out.
Sure.
Um,
Why don't you all roll me some
hmm.
initiatives?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I'm
boy.
gonna toss you my whistle.
TPK. TPK.
My whistle. If you need help, blow it really well. I guess you're loud, but whatever.
Blah. Oh, Siggy.
Right. I need
Oh.
to roll for Zaya. 'Cause unfortunately, the player is not joining us today. We don't know what happened, but I hope that he's doing all right. All right. Let's get this sorted by initiative. Salera, it is your turn, and I hope that everyone has the marinara timer open.
Yes.
Let's see if it works.
Okay, so I move, and then I'm gonna, cause that was 30. Can I try and handle animal from here?
Sure, you can.
Um,
Give
so
me
I'm
a
kind
hand.
of new to the whole companion situation, so um, I am just gonna try and grab her by her mane, not like rudely or anything, but
Sure.
and lead her out as quickly as I possibly can.
All right. Give me a handle animal check. Okay. She seems to be quite docile to your guiding.
Cool. Can I move again? Can I move again?
You still have your standard action. Good to you.
I was gonna double move.
That is gonna be your turn.
I almost made it.
Why did I hear the timer if it's on my phone and the volume is because it's going through the media.
Ooh,
There we go.
I just heard it. It was really slow. I mean, I saw a 0 before
Yeah,
it
yeah,
dinged,
yeah.
but I was like
It has a little bit of a delay.
rushing a little bit.
So Shalilu's gonna lift herself up and start chasing after you. And she's actually gonna go all the way over here. All right. After that, Saya is gonna follow suit, and she's actually gonna. Ooh, God, gonna stop. God damn it! Roll 20. Gonna stop over here. Roll 20 would let me let go of the token. And she's sort of signaling for you, Sigus, to follow suit. To hurry up.
All right. I'm gonna move here, and then down, and also just for Zaya, what does she look like?
She looks
Because Sigis hasn't really encountered.
so. Saya's a particular character. She has a humanoid face, and most of her outlook is humanoid. But where you would expect to find a pair of ears, although her hood usually covers it up, she has a very distinguished pair of um, half elven, half avian ears, very prolonged and covered in. Uh, it's hard to tell whether it's down feathers or if it's fur that is adorning her ears. And she has these very distinctive, brilliant eyes.
Eh.
Aside from that, she does have a blow blonde, flowing, straight hair, and is actually pretty tall. At I think she's like
Awesome.
5'8". Hang on, let me actually double check. I think she's in the uppers of 5 feet. We'll never know because Ty never
Fair.
put her height in there.
We'll never know.
Alright.
I don't know if closing a door was a free action. I would move here and
It
close
is
it, but
a
I
move
don't know.
action to open
Yeah,
or
I
close
figured.
the door.
So I guess I'll just be waiting here then.
Are you closing the door then?
I had to go just over it. I'm going to, but I'll do it next turn.
I'll
I'm
give
at
it to you as part of your move action in that case. Like
Thank you.
I'm not gonna prevent you from closing the door for 5 feet of movement.
Appreciate that.
Alright. Celera, it is your turn once more. You don't need to keep rolling and handle animals. Shadow Mist will follow after you.
Yay. Okay. So I am gonna be 30 and then so yeah. For it's 2 30s to double move, right?
Yep. 30 is a
Okay.
normal move. 60 is a double move. This is not.
And then since I have Shadow Mist, does she move separately from me?
She moves separately from you.
Okay. So I am going to move to here.
Okay.
I am a little worried about her being able to
So
also
once you reach the beginning of the bridge, as she
Uh-huh.
is trying to follow you,
Uh-huh.
she'll sort of put two hooves on the bridge and sort of like step back, and
Mhm.
she looks to be indecisive. So I'm gonna need a handle animal check to
Okay.
encourage her to go over the bridge.
Okay. I can do. Oh Lord. Hello. Why did I do that? Okay. I clicked off of it because I'm done. Oof.
She really doesn't trust that bridge.
Okay.
You're gonna need on your next turn another handle animal check if you wish to force her to cross that bridge. Otherwise, she is not moving from there.
Okay. That's fine.
All right. That is
Okay.
gonna be your turn. Shalelu is gonna run past you. It's 30, and let's see where she can get.
Smart thinking, girlfriend.
Over here.
Give me the.
All right. Oh, Zaya, she's gonna drop your ass. Sigus, as she keeps. She's gonna move over here and wait for you. Actually, Sigus, it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna go there. Oh, and then keep trying to go past the horse.
Okay. The horse will not stop you from moving, although it's a little bit awkward as you're trying to, step
Oh
around
yeah,
a very frightened horse.
yeah, it's fair. I guess I've stuck with my decision.
Okay. Is that the end of your
Pretty
movement?
more, so I'll keep going.
Okay.
I'll get more out of the way.
All right. Silera, it is your turn. Your turn once more.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a handle animal again.
Yeah.
Please, baby, work. Oh Lord, natural one. Okay.
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 So
We need to start saying that
as
one
you're
instead of
trying to coerce Shadow Mist, you sort of grab her from her mane, and you're starting to pull a little bit too hard, and she lowers her head and headbutts you away from her. I'm just gonna roll a quick little nibble on you, but interpret this as being a headbutt. Where is it? Oh, when is being a butt. So she sort of tries to headbutt you to get away from you, and at that point you sort of can choose to try and keep pulling her or let go.
Okay. Um.
You need a decision within your timer.
I want to try and keep trying to pull her.
Okay.
What does that? What does that mean?
Give
What
me
does that mean?
give me a give
Bad
me a
idea.
strength check.
Oh.
Ah.
Okay.
No. Let's do it this way. What's your CMD? Your defense
Uh.
against combat maneuvers.
Um. 16 total.
All right.
Oh, cool. Cool.
You
Cool.
might
Cool.
want to give me a reflex save as you try to hold on to Shadow Mist and she rears back onto her onto her back legs and pulls her neck back. And as you're trying to hold her down, you're dragged off of your feet up into the air, holding onto her neck, and at the worst moment, at the height of um, her reflex, you lose hold of her neck, um, and you begin to go overboard over the side of the bridge.
Cool.
Yeah, as
It's been real,
you
guys. Thanks for letting
yeah,
me.
the worst way to go. As you grab onto the edge of the bridge and well, let me put it this way. You might want someone to give you a hand, or you might be falling a long way to the water. That being said, that is the end of your turn. Shalelu, seeing all of this, is gonna go, for heaven's sake. She's gonna turn around and go chasing after you. She's gonna make it next to you, but not gonna be able to help you immediately. What do you guys reckon? What would Saya do in this situation? Because I think she's a solo player.
She's also a ranger like Shalelu, though. So
True.
Be a bow too, or
what's her alignment?
That's a very quick question. Let's see what her alignment is. I don't wanna railroad a PC that is not around to be led. She is chaotic good, so
She would help.
she would run over to help Celera. All right, somebody roll me a d20. Pick
And-
someone to roll for them.
Nat 20, bitch.
Okay.
Damn.
So
Nat 20,
Celera
bitch.
jumps.
Nat 20, bitch.
Yeah. Celera, sorry, not Celera. Zaya jumps over the side of Shadow Mist, crouches next to Celera, grabs onto your arm, pulls you back up onto the bridge, and as she does, Shalelu sort of grabs your back, pulls you in, and the both of them sort of say, "We have to go."
Yep.
Sigis, it is your turn.
so I am going to the end of the bridge, and I'm gonna stand here just because otherwise that post blocks my whole view. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till no, I'll move over here. I'm gonna wait till they all get across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salera, before you act on your turn,
Mm-hmm.
you are pulled onto the bridge, and as you are on the bridge, you hear. Give me a perception check to see how much detail it might give you. I know you can make a 5. You hear footsteps and the clattering of weapons as someone is chasing after you. You don't immediately see anyone break into the line of sight, but you can hear them coming, and it's more than one
Okay.
person.
Okay.
All right, it is your turn.
I'm gonna tell Shalelu and Zaya that I hear them closer than we would like them to go, like them to be, and I am gonna go ahead and say bye to Shadow Mist as much as I would love to have her. It's not gonna happen, and I'm gonna move right there.
All right.
And can I also? Nope, that's never mind.
Can you also what?
Oh well, I was gonna ready an action
No,
to.
because you double moved.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's
Shalilu's gonna run after you. And she's gonna cross over, and so will Zaya. And just as you sort of look back, you see a human wielding a very large shield, made of this black tarnished iron, and they're wielding a bastard sword on the other hand. Give me just 1 second because I need to. I want to actually show you what they look like. Boop. 5 million folders into my notes. Maybe I'll find them. Okay. Shift C? Yeah, there we go. You see this fine gentleman rushing over, and they clear the main door, and they look at you, raise their shield, expecting a volley of arrows, and then they start to close one of the two doors that lead into the fort. And behind them, you can see that there's another humanoid creature, but they get obfuscated by the closing door just before you can get any real detail. And boop, and boop, and boop. All right. Sigus, you're on the home stretch. Oh.
We breaking this bridge.
so I
Dude, like it's
Right, yeah, just burn it.
yeah, so I know that
We cannot let them get out.
all right.
isn't there like a lever to like drop it on
the
this
other
side,
side.
or is it on the other side?
The other side.
The
Oh,
other
yeah,
side.
we're
Okay.
just
I
gonna
couldn't remember. Yeah.
bust it. I'm going to look at the ropes, how it's attached to like which ones, if we can sever the least amount of points to drop it, and then an acid dart to try and cut through one of those. Hopefully, I can just touch
Sure,
the thing. So
give me. You know what? Point blank with a acid dart, or a acid orb would do the trick to eat through the ropes. You would need to cut two ropes in order to go through it, so a single acid attack won't do it.
okay, so I will use one.
Okay.
On the side I'm close to.
Sure. One of the two ropes maintaining the bridge horizontal snaps after letting out the thistling and sizzling of the acid burning through them. And sure enough, they snap, and with a tang, you see the top rope just snap into, and you see half of the bridge sort of get at a 20-degree incline towards the right. Celera, it is your turn. As you
Try calling the horse over, but
cannot see them anymore.
So I'm not gonna try and call the because it's even more unstable than it already was. Not gonna happen. Would it be possible for really want the horse? Go ahead. Is it possible to call the horse over? Because Shalelu
You
can
could
try and cut the other side. Would it just be a handle animal again?
Sure, you can try a handle animal. It's going to be a little bit harder since you're not close
any
to it.
food?
I don't have any food. She ate all the food. I am doing one last ditch effort. I'm
Alright.
sorry, everyone, if we die.
Oh,
But
for sure.
Shalelu, please cut the rope. Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay. As you sort of call her over and you're like, Shadow Mist, come on, come over, and you see her sort of turn back, having heard the the booming noise of the door closing behind her. She seems to be more spooked of whatever is behind her, at least more spooked from what's there than from the bridge. And you see her break into a gallop towards you. And as she does, I'm
Fast
gonna.
run on that bridge.
Fucking collapses under her.
The
I mean,
bridge is
honestly, like I expected it this.
Yeah.
Oh
And
god.
then you see a bunyip feast on Shadowman. No.
We killed the only bunyip they travel in
Yeah, I
solos,
know.
okay?
I know.
Let's do one of these. Oh, did it like it? Yeah. Okay, so you see Shadow Mist start to gallop, and as she does, the bridge starts to wobble, and you hear the tension. You can hear it sort of creaking as the rope sort of strangles the post on the right hand side, sort of holding all of the weight of both the horse and the bridge. And
He's a very
uh,
skinny horse.
she is a war horse, a heavy war horse.
An emaciated warhorse, to be fair.
Yeah, an emaciated heavy war
Yeah.
horse. Still weighs a shitload. So
Can-
you see her galloping, and as she goes, the bridge sort of sways under her, and she begins to slide a little bit to the left, manages to stabilize, leaps forward, hits the bridge again, and then takes a second leap. And as she does, she breaks through and makes it next to you.
Ah!
And then you see the second rope on the bridge snap from the effort as the wave that was going through the bridge sort of strains it too much.
Cool. Shalala
Huh?
didn't even. Good job, Shadow.
God damn. Fucking made it.
I didn't think it was gonna
Yo,
happen.
Disruptus approves, for the record. Yeah, buddy.
Whew.
Alright, so you made it back from Fizzletop itself. But, well, you know that at least one of your companions is still alive, as far as you know. Trapped somewhere beneath the ruins of Fizzletop. And on the other hand, you know that 3 of your companions are sadly no longer with you. You're still in the middle of the Nettlewoods. And perhaps
Are we?
the most fortunate part of all of this is that you now have a horse with which to ride back to town.
Which is, it matters. It matters.
Where are we on the map?
Right now you're on the
Nettlewood, top right.
top right, all the
Thank
way over there.
Thank you.
So, how would you like to proceed?
West.
You're not there.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. So
On horseback.
I
Would you
would.
like? So, my question is mostly this: would you like to take up to 2 people on horseback back to Sandpoint, or would you like to maintain the party structure of 4 people on foot next to a horse?
Let me. I don't think I have any spell solutions, but let me just double check.
Maybe send the bard and the wizard to town and then leave the rangers to do ranger things.
We're pretty squishy. I'm pretty squishy.
So you should get to town first and not be left in the wild.
Thorin,
I don't think I have
as
anything
I-
to speed
as
this
I
up.
said before, you're not there.
I just. I.
Say, what's the difference in speed? One
Uh,
emaciated horse. I don't know if that'll take.
Even though they're emaciated, they have had something to eat. They can run at they can move at 40. 40, 50. Hang on.
50.
50.
Think.
They can move at 50 and they can run at 4 times the speed.
Ooh.
Mhm.
But
Ooh.
they just move constantly.
Yeah, they move 200 feet per round, which is
Um,
really freaking fast.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if
So on
maybe.
foot, just as a reference point, on foot from
Uh-huh.
from where you are to Sandpoint, it's gonna be about a good 4 to 6 hours. On horseback, it would be 1.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
I
Gotcha.
think it makes sense for also speed of play potentially to send you and me into town, and we leave
Yeah.
the NPCs to follow terribly.
I
So
agree only because you're so.
So smart.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to split the party. This is awful. I hate this already.
Right.
Um,
Look,
but
we have a horse. The two of you can are probably gonna slow us down, and you see Shalala sort of
true.
gesture at her and Zaya. Just get on the horse, get to town, just get everyone ready. We might be looking at a little bit of a raid coming our way again. We'll get there
so
a little bit later, but we
so
get there
okay. So we will meet you in town.
hopefully.
Um,
She sort of gives you a nervous smile.
do you
Come on, let's
do
go.
you want us?
Don't really have a lot of time to be thinking about this.
Why don't you go and I'll rummage through these plans and see if what I can learn while we're riding there.
I'm gonna ride.
Okay.
We're gonna ride.
Okay, so it's gonna be Seller and Segas going ahead on the horse. All right.
Yes. Um,
You hop on Shadow Mist's back, and Shalelu sort of like as she sees you get ready to get the horse into a trot, she gives you a reassuring nod. Says, "Go, go."
I'm gonna like see like how is she doing? Like, is she gonna go
Give
like
me a sense motive as you're starting to break away
yeah,
from the
because
two of them.
I don't trust.
yeah? Oh, this will be good. Was not.
It was absolutely not. So, Lara, you want to give
Can
me
I
a
my
sense motive?
also?
God.
Yeah.
Not a people person.
Oh my God. No, you use
You can use perform more
Oh,
oratory.
my or sorry.
Yep. That's fine.
Habit. Oh, cool.
Okay,
Nice.
so Shalelu seems to be a little bit shaken, but she seems to be still holding things together. At least she has things together enough that she can pretend that she's doing just fine.
But right
And
before we leave,
Yep.
I'm gonna ask her if she wants me to come back for them. Or
no, just go, We'll get there. And she sort of gets closer to Shadow Mist and gives the horse a slap on the hind, and Shadow Mist just breaks into a sprint.
okay,
All right,
we're gonna head to town.
you're gonna hit what?
Head to town.
Oh, head
Head
to town. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a right check just as you're going through.
Um,
There's a skill that is ride. You probably don't have ranks on it.
I don't think I. That.
No,
Oh,
people
Nope.
never put
got it.
ranks into ride.
Unless it's a class skill and it's a
Yeah.
1
All right.
point down.
So you managed to
Yeah.
sort of regain control of Shadow Mist a couple of seconds later, and dodge and weave through some of the worst part of the natural wood. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, you've broken out of the woods. Shadow Mist seems to be a little bit agitated as she seems to be slightly bruised and cut from the vines and the thorns of the nettlewoods. Um, but that aside, You seem to have left the other two behind. You're home free. You can see the road just a little bit ahead of you, as you've broken through the Nettlewood, a little bit southeast of Pauper's Graves. "40 minutes
All right.
later, as you journey on the road, you manage to see a little bit in the distance, but well within reach, the walls, the northern wall of Sandpoint.
Yeah.
Hey, we made it.
Hey.
Okay. Cool.
During the hour, could I see if I could like figure out anything with like not doing an intense study, but like a quick?
Right, you picked up some
'Cause
you picked random pieces.
I just swiped like half the table.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a
So.
linguistics check in the hour that you were writing. You can take take 10 if you want.
Take 10, so that's 17.
I mean,
Taken
you're-
10, but that's okay.
Okay.
I just
Okay, just so that we could see the bonus. All right. So with a check of 17, you're gonna be able to read through some of the papers, and what you find is most of the ones that you've swiped, are notes, research notes, parts of a thesis, the subject matter of which is ancient Thassalon, the ancient Thessalonian Empire. Some of it details the existence of Thistletop, or well, the statue that once was the intended form of that creation. The piece would have stood a good 200 to 300 feet tall, an imposing sight in the coast. However, what you do find is one of the pages on the original, as you see that there are two copies of the same thesis, one of which seems to be to have been transcribed into female's handwriting, or a much more sophisticated, smooth handwriting. The original seems to have a blood stain on it. And once you reach the end of the papers, you find that one of them is signed by a. Give me a minute, because I completely forgot what name you gave these guys. Rick. Whoops. One of them is signed by a Maximus, and the other one is signed by Larry. Larry Akenja. Which, given the fact that she did introduce herself, you do know that is the name of the wizard that was within
Yeah, I was gonna say.
the tower.
all right.
Aside from that, there are some notes on spell research. Specifically, there are mentions of Thessalonian rune magic, although the papers that you picked are not complete. So you picked some of the papers mentioning them.
Yeah. And but nothing on like attacks and.
No, nothing
Yeah.
that describes any kind of plan for Sandpoint.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, an hour has gone by, thereabouts, 50, maybe an hour 10, but you sort of feel this wave of relaxation overtake you almost, pushing you to just fall unconscious while riding back, as you see the northern wall come into view, come into detail, and you can see that there are a couple guards at the gate. The northernmost end of the wall is slowly being rebuilt. There are wooden scaffoldings covering most of it. And sure enough, as you arrive at the gate, the guards stop your horse. They look you over and go, "Alright, it's good to see the two of you back. Wait, is that Sigus?
Yeah.
Come on through. We do need to ask you a couple of questions. What is the rush that you were galloping all the way here?
So we just came from the Thistletop. And
Place?
there were some terrible things that went down, and we needed to get back as soon as possible to rally some people into
Are
kind
we
of
expecting some
collector.
company?
You may, so just be aware, you may be expecting company. We need to kind of reconvene, Siggy and I here together and see what our next steps are before we give any more information, but be prepared.
All right. Just head on to the garrison. You should go immediately to talk to Sheriff Baylor.
Yes.
He just arrived this afternoon. It's a miracle that you've made it back. All right.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
All right. I did. You did get that message from the guard, but where are you headed?
So Siggy, I was thinking, I don't know in what order, but sheriff, mayor, priest.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of touch with the political situation just because I like what was kind of going on with Thistletop. So you think we should talk to first?
For some reason, I just feel like we should the mayor first. And then the sheriff from there, and then just because I feel like the mayor before.
Yeah, when we can also like send someone. We can try and do both at once, but I think you're right. Talk to the mayor because I think first thing we want to do is make sure that the town is ready in case we get a retribution attack, and then we want to try and either we gotta avoid them or we have to hit back hard. There's really, I think, only the options, but now they'll know we're coming. And anyways, there's a lot to think about, but I think your plan is a good one.
Okay. I don't
back.
know.
Yeah.
What
I'm doing, we're so far out of my depth. I think we just gotta
Okay.
fake it till we make it, or
Is it possible for me before we do that to try and heal Shadow Mist, because it looks like her health is not great.
She is still a little bit bruised and exhausted from having spent several days without food. If you wanted to, you could cast some spells.
What am I doing? Go. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do Cure Light Wounds on Shadow Mist.
Okay, give me Cure Light Wounds. Oops, wrong screen.
Same.
At five points of health.
yeah, I think we should also like start. Yeah, so we'll talk to the mayor, but we should try and talk to the sheriff as soon as possible and get rounding up some.
Okay.
Let's
So
Let's
where
go
are you headed
recruit.
first?
Mayor first?
Mayor first?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
So Stellara, you've been here a couple times already. Maybe a little bit too frequently. More so than anyone should be coming over to the town hall. Especially if you don't work there. But sure enough, you find the town hall still open at this time in the afternoon. Um, and there are still a few people waiting to have their moment to speak to Kendra. And sure enough, as you show up, the person in charge, of visits, Kendra's assistant, stands up, looks you over, and gestures for you to come over to her desk.
Perfect. We will follow.
All right. How can I help you? What seems to be the issue? Are you here to talk to the mayor?
Yes.
She is currently terribly busy. She's handling some delicate affairs with Scarnetti. Um, can your situation wait? What
It
exactly
is.
is the nature of your visit?
It is urgent. Um, and it is kind of confidential.
All right. Well, I'll let you. As soon as the Scarnetti are done, I'll send you through.
Okay.
All right.
So now what? No, no.
Sidebar. I can tell if my familiar I think is within a certain distance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
That'd be
felt
awesome.
as you were going into town that sort of ping on
good.
your mental radar. You're not certain where your bird is, but you can tell that they are at least within the mile.
Yeah. Cool. It can talk, so that might be good for sending messages. Yeah, so I guess we just want to figure out kind of want to say to the mayor, and then I think we could also do we want to also get someone like we'll want to talk to the sheriff. I go first. Just waiting.
Okay. So you're waiting around for a bit. And it's gonna be another 10 minutes that are gonna go by as you're waiting around, and you can see that the other two people who are waiting for their turn are were already impatient when you arrived, but they are getting well on their nerves. It's getting on their nerves that they have had to wait for so long. But sure enough, after those 10 minutes, you see a man that cuts quite an imposing figure. Even though they look well into perhaps their 50s, they still look quite fit and they have this sophisticated, refined look to them. Very well kept beard and hair, and their clothes, even though they are wearing some kind of light armor, light metallic armor, they are heavily adorned with somewhat of a cloak and regal, not quite regal, but very, very noble-ish fine cloths to adorn their armor and the outlook. And as they come out, they seem to give Mayor Kendra Devrin one last little bit of their mind, and they say something along the lines of, "Look, I just expect things to be handled better than this. Can't we coming over every single time we have this kind of unacceptable behavior in town. And you see Kendra's just like sighing with resignation. You say just, yes, we'll make sure to handle things better in the future, Titus. They give each other a nod, and Kendra does spot the two of you. Spots Sigis, and she gives you both a little bit of a wide-eyed stare, and just
Yeah, they all thought I was dead.
gestures for you to come into her office.
Yeah, they did.
So yeah, we're gonna go in
Come on in.
and
Just
um
closes the door behind you. It's down at her desk. All
I'm
right.
gonna sit and I'm gonna explain to her.
No, wait. Before you
Why?
say anything.
Yep.
Before you say anything, tell me. You see her sort of fix her hair a little bit, and you can see the rather large amount of gray hair that keeps multiplying every time you come to visit her. All right, give me a minute. Let me just prepare myself. She gestures at Sigis and goes, "Good to see that you're alive, even though everyone assumed that you were dead. Your uncle is currently under probation for destroying public property. Salera, do tell me, what terrible news do you bring me this time?"
So this is gonna be kind of the point where it hits me. I've been so focused on getting out and getting where I need to be that I am just coming to the realization that half of our party is gone, and I just start sobbing. I just start crying, and I'm trying to talk to her, and I can't get any words out.
Okay, I'm
Sigis
calm
He's
down.
been
Just,
pacing back and put a hand on her shoulder.
you see Kendra put a mug of tea that she was getting ready in front of you, Salera, and she says, "Have a drink. Calm down. I'm sure we can handle whatever fate is bringing to us. It'll be fine. You have the support of Gunpoint. We're all in this together."
I could talk? Well, I don't know how we got there, but that's my journey. Isn't the
Look,
I start to laugh. I start to
mistletoe?
laugh. I just laugh just a little bit as he's trying to get
Just like
through explaining.
rumbles through a sentence.
I just laugh just a little bit, like, thank you, I needed that. And then I just am a little bit still trying to like collect myself and stop sobbing, and just the tears are still running down, but I kind of calm myself, and after a little bit of a chuckle and take a deep breath, and then I tell her that we went to Thistletop and we were able to kill all of the goblins. And when the party went deeper inside of the structure, there was a demon lady, or what seemed to be a
Wiz-
demon lady, right?
I didn't get as close to look at her, but she had. There's definitely unhuman things about her.
Um, uh, she started attacking us. And unfortunately, Robin, Ra, Ajit, and Shui didn't make it out. And then I start crying again.
They have a
Well-
number of powerful individuals
Look,
that we were not ready for.
all right. Not good. Definitely not good. It is a good thing that you've managed to deal with the Fizzletop goblins. I must commend you for your contributions to this town, at least in that regard. It's definitely bringing me some peace of mind to know that that trouble is settled.
When we were
Yes.
there is a bigger plan in Sandpoint Cave. We saw plans of defense points from inside Sandpoint,
Mm.
troop numbers of goblins, details on individuals in the town, including yourself. Don't think that this will be the end of this.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. I'm gonna need you to write down as much as possible about those plans, and we're gonna need to have a long discussion with Taylor. Possibly some others. Okay. Look,
We were hoping we could contact the sheriff and look for
I'll
some recruits.
look. You seem to be doing much better than Stellar, and no offense. Stellar, how about you head on over to um the Rusty Dragon, I believe is where you're staying. Head on over there. Rest up. Wash up. Sigis, I would prefer it if you could stay around. We'll discuss about the details of this information that we gathered, and I'll send for Sheriff Baylor. Should be able to get here in just a moment.
Before I leave, we have 2 more that are on their way. We could only fit 2 of us because we found a horse and we're able to bring the horse back. So we have 2 more, Zaya and Shalelu, that should be on their way back. So
We'll
just make sure that
yes, of course.
they keep an eye out for them.
I'll send once they go fetch Sheriff Baylor. I'll make sure that somebody is on the lookout for them.
Okay.
Just try to recover yourself. Know that this might not be very reassuring to you, but it is. We might have some dark days ahead, and it is better for all of us to be ready for it. Rest up while we can.
Okay.
All right. We'll take over for now. Go rest.
I'll come find you in a bit.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna
Linda, go and get Sheriff Baylor for me. Right now. Yes, right now. Right. Well, Sigis, about those details, and you don't need to relate all of the details. We'll go over what Sigis knows in just a moment. For now, a ship arrived earlier today, and its port of origin is a little bit of of a mixed bag. It has been going around the Verizian Gulf for a bit now. It was supposed to go from Magnamar to Sandpoint, but unfortunately, some detours were necessary. And now, as it arrives to the much smaller port of Sandpoint, amongst its crew are members of Magnamore, Redoport, some western coast cities, and even from far, far away lands. And just as we see some of the crew start to disembark at the port, let's go over our most illustrious new characters to the story. Let's start off with... Who wants to go first? Let's go this way.
Top down.
Alright, let's go top down. Bell.
All right. So, an unassuming looking human man, with like a real big hat, sort of like grubby looking clothes, walking with a staff, sort of supporting his own weight a little bit, sort of comes off the gangplank, a little bit flustered, just a bit, because everybody's sort of knocking him around. He doesn't appear to be very well built. He's a little bit smaller framed. So he's a little bit flustered, and he gets off to the side. He just sort of looks at Sandpoint, looks at the ship, and you kind of assume that he's thinking that, wow, that's really a shitty, really fucking shitty ship, and I hated that entire trip. The words that come out of his mouth are, oh, wow, man, that was a really fucking good trip, guys. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I remember you.
Alright,
Yeah, you stole my food.
out of the way,
yeah.
Brittle Bones. And you see a really well-built, sort of tanned, muscular man just put a hand on your chest and push you out of the way as they disembark.
Oh, hey, man, you're real strong. That's cool.
Just tired of having you around. Just get out of the way.
Oh, well,
damn.
that's okay, man. You go get some rest, bud.
Pushovers, I just want to... You see them mumbling as they get away with... sorry, they move away carrying their very little luggage that they brought with them.
Little luggage for big man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Red! How about you tell us a little bit about yourself as you disembark back at some point?
All right. So off the boat, kind of sauntering down the gangplank with his hands in his pockets, you will see a fairly tall, thin elf. He's got a big scar going kind of over one eye. But aside from that, he is just kind of pale, long black hair, fairly angular looking person. Kind of always has a bit of a smirk on his face. And he's got this big, billowy cloak with some weird colors and markings on it. And he's he's clearly not a full elf, but he has some blood in it. He's got the pointy ears for sure. And he's not talking to anyone, but he will start he basically cuts off the ship and immediately starts heading into town off the docks.
Sure. Just as we see this, clearly not quite elven, as Red sort of lacks that distinct smoothness that is typical among elves. He's got that sort of...
His eyes are normal. They're just like normal blue human eyes.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that his face is so angular that you can tell, like, there's that missing je ne sais quoi that just tells you that an elf is sort of a little bit more stoic, perhaps a little bit more naturally lacking in emotion display on their face. There's
Yeah,
that
he just
sort
looks
of
kind of like
smirk.
pissed off or
Yeah, he looks
arrogant.
he looks like he's expressing some kind of emotion passively. Um, so right, you jump off the ship, and meaning that metaphorically, as
Yeah.
you brush off most of the rest of the crew and start working your way to a perhaps a bar. Let's call it that way.
He's heading for one very specific
Yeah, one
bar.
very specific bar which you haven't visited in quite a while.
Yeah.
And perhaps leading the rear guard of the crew that is disembarking, we see Corbin. How about you introduce yourself?
You don't want to unmute yourself there, bud.
All right. Sorry. So you see Dorbin. He is a very grisly dwarf. He has mountain pattern armor on, which is just like a really thick, heavy chainmail thing with the dwarven symbol for mountain, pretty much designed into the armor itself. He has a heavy wooden shield, and he has a crossbow and an axe on his pack, along with he just looks like a pack mule. Honestly, he just stuff all, like you can
Which
see tent, pole, there's just stuff sticking out of his bag.
Which probably explains why he is the last person to disembark, as he has been taking quite a while to recover his luggage, first off and foremost.
Yeah.
And second, because if he literally wasn't the last person, he would be knocking people off of the plank.
For sure.
But sure enough, Dorban, you see Belle, who with whom you've been traveling for a bit now, simply because the ship trip, the voyage, did take a quite a lengthy detour in order to get from Riddleport to Sandpoint via Magnamar. It was a little bit unfortunate, but sure enough, you've made it back. Made it back to, well, not back. You made it to Sandpoint, this place you've heard had been dealing with quite the invasion of goblins lately.
Yeah.
Sure enough, the three of you have disembarked. Where would you like to head first, Corbin?
I mean, Dorbin would probably go to the cathedral first, like the temple.
All right. Belle,
And,
how about you?
Belle's probably gonna head to the Rusty Dragon.
All right. Well, we know where Red is going, so let's handle Belle first, because we know.
Sure.
Yeah, let's handle Belle first. So Belle, you head on over to the Rusty Dragon, and sure enough, once you walk in, you see a familiar face is behind the counter. She seems to be having a little bit of a rough week. She has some bandages on her forehead, and she seems to be walking with a little bit of a limp. And you can tell that she very recently was in a much worse state. There's that distinct sort of ached movement to Amiko as she sort of tries to handle most of the kitchen in behind the bar. And just as you see her, she sort of looks back at you, and one eyebrow sort of lifts up as she's sizing you up.
Oh, wow, you don't look so good. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Your face is awfully familiar.
Is there anybody else in the tavern?
Yeah, there's quite a few customers, and there's also Bethana, the halfling waitress, just going back and forth between tables. In
Okay.
fact, just as you're sort of standing there a little bit dumbfounded, perhaps, Bethana sort of almost runs into you and does like a twirl around you, trying not to drop her tray, and gives you like a glare, and then a smile as she keeps walking.
Oh wow, you're really nimble. That's neat. And he's like clearly distracted, and then he looks back at Amiko and is like, "Oh right, sorry I couldn't get that gem for you." And he puts his finger to his nose.
Oh, I get it. I get it. All right, Belle, sit down. First one's on the house.
Hey, thanks so much. Is there anything I can do to help?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I mean, you don't have to be like that with me. If you want help, I'm here.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Just let me keep, maintain my rhythm. Otherwise, I'm just gonna, whew. And she sort of gestures, lose her mind.
All
She
right.
starts pouring some ale for you.
Yeah, he'll sit at the bar and he'll really fucking enjoy this because he's been on this ship and it's like been a shit show probably. It's super packed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to get a breath of fresh air, and he's enjoying this, and he's gonna be like, "Oh wow, this is really good, Anko. Damn."
You know, yeah, it's the local brew. It's actually pretty good. I've been enjoying it.
Oh, neat. And he's like sipping it and just like still sipping it, and he's just like still sipping it.
Yeah. She's sort of like, she has her arms crossed and she's leaning on the counter. And you can tell like at one point she sort of winces as she put too much weight on her shoulder, and she sort of straightens up a little bit and goes like, well, oh god, that.
Whoa, hey,
So,
you should probably like take 5.
yeah, I'm sort of taking 5. Anyway.
You need to do it better. Like,
Speaking. Look who's speaking. What brings you to Sandpoint, Belle? I know that I did tell you to come visit anytime, but I wasn't expecting you to drop unannounced.
yeah, so I was in Riddleport and there was this search for this guy, and let's just say he had horns, and I really didn't want to get involved with that entire deal, so I decided to just leave. I sort of just left everything there, and I'm just like, the minute I found out, I left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, things haven't been exactly sailing smoothly here.
Oh no?
Yeah, no. Lately, well, you can tell that I did take a beating.
Yeah. Who the fuck? Who did that?
Funnily enough, my brother.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
long story. I'll get to it later.
Well, you took it like a champ.
I'm not certain coming from you it sounds like an insult, but
Hey, no, it's a compliment. Like, obviously, you're not feeling so hot, but like, you're still here, right? That matters.
yeah, I guess so. Damn it, it looks so. You look so different from last time, and it's throwing me off so much. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was. No, things have been terrible lately, and like taking a beating, least of my problems. We had an invasion
Oh,
of
really?
goblins, and then there was like people going insane.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was nasty.
That sounds pretty bad.
Mm.
Is
And
there like, is there something being done about it, or like what?
Sort of.
What's
like
happening?
well, some folk have been running around and sort of helping everyone out, and they've been trying to do something about it. I'm pretty certain they are doing something about it right now. And just as she says that, Celera, you walk into the Rusty Dragon, having left the town hall just moments ago.
Yes, and I kind of walk in, and you can tell that I've been crying. My face is all red, and my eyes are kind of teary-eyed still. And I don't really make any eye contact with anybody. I'm just kind of
There is a moment, however, before she realizes your state, that um, Amiko sort of looks over to you as she's having this conversation. She says, "Oh, Celera there is one of them," and she sort of looks at you for a moment, and does it. Celera, are you right? Do you need something?
Belle looks over.
I give both of them a weak smile, and I wave to both of them because I'm just trying to pretend like I'm okay for at least a second. And I'm like, I just need some rest. And then I just kind of
Okay.
almost zombie
Your
like
room is ready.
walk.
Just going on upstairs.
Thank you. And I just kind of zombie like up to my room without kind of realizing that there was somebody else
Mm-hmm.
with her. I didn't even recognize or take notice. I just kind of zombie my way up to the room
Right.
and lay down, try to compose myself and get some rest.
All right. Belle, as soon as you see Celera leave, Amika sort of turns to you and goes, "Just give me a moment. I need to see if she's actually doing all right. Just
Yeah, she
hold on.
didn't
I'll
look
be right
very
back."
good. Yeah, I'll hold the fort.
You see Amiko sort of go over to the corner of the counter, get on the other side, and she goes over to Bethana. They seem to share a couple words. She points at Amiko points upstairs, um, and they share a couple more words. They consent with a few nods of the head. And you see Bethana sort of go into the kitchen. Amiko sort of looks over to you and says, "I'll be back in 5, all right?" He seems to start walking to the back door of the Rusty Dragon. And you see that you can hear that she is pulling some water from the well behind back doors.
Yep. Belle will just enjoy what he was given.
All right.
Free round on the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a moment later, Amiko come back with a rather hefty bucket of water. She seems to be straining it a bit. She puts it down on the back door that remains open. And then she walks over back to be behind the counter, and sits down on a movable stool on the other side. All right, I think it's gonna be better that she rests up. Kind of wanted you to meet her. She's usually pretty. She's generally a really good,
Really
nice,
good person.
yeah, she's
and
a
really
really good
happy and
person.
energetic.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I know.
yeah.
I can tell. Oh, she's not doing so hot.
No. Kind of should be getting a bath ready for her in a minute. Maybe
Oh, that's really nice of her.
that should get her to calm down a little bit. It like
Well, I
quite
hope
upset.
everything's okay.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Urban, you've arrived at the cathedral.
All right.
And sure enough, you're gonna be greeted by Father Santos as you see them. Uh, they've already finished their afternoon gathering, and he seems to have already answered most queries from churchgoers. As he sort of is pacing about, making sure that everything is in order, and they spot you, look at you, and very, very gently start
I
walking towards you.
will walk up and do like a little bow and
They respond
say
in kind.
hi. Have been searching recently, and I've heard rumors in the area. My name is Plate Rock, and I follow. God, I forgot his name.
Abadar.
Abadar. And in my travels, I came across a village that was pillaged by goblins, and I heard that you had a similar issue recently. Um, Thankfully, you guys fared much better than them, but honestly, I'm just here to join the fight.
Well, welcome to Sandpoint, Dorban Plate Rock, follower of Abadar. You're always welcome to pray at Abadar's shrine. Is over there. We have very recently opened our doors once more, and if joining the fray, protecting Sunpoint is you're looking for, perhaps you could be a better place to speak with perhaps the mayor or the sheriff. Make yourself useful those ways.
All right. I appreciate you giving me a direction, and I definitely appreciate you opening your house to maybe someone not as of the same faith, but at least we're in the same level. Yeah, I will definitely utilize your
Perhaps you
be back
perhaps
at
you're
any chance.
not acquainted. Perhaps you're not acquainted with it, but the cathedral at Sandpoint very recently renovated. It was only a week ago. Certain
Oh wow.
heard the rumors. We have
Yeah.
opened. We have consecrated 6 shrines here. Abadar is in fact one to whom a whole shrine has been dedicated. You're more than welcome to join our very small flock of clerics.
I would appreciate that. I'm not sure how long I'll be here, but the entire time I'm here, I will definitely do my best to help out your clergy and the town in general.
Now, I'll appreciate and value your time with us. Is there anything I can help you with?
Honestly, all and you gave me exactly what I needed. I thank you very much for that.
Well, I'm glad that I could help you.
Dorban does a little just immediately turns around, waltzes out of the cathedral, heading towards probably the sheriff.
Strange fellow. Yeah. So you're heading towards which building then?
Heading towards wherever the sheriff would be.
Yeah,
Which he doesn't.
you do know that
Just-
there is a garrison, and you would have seen it on your way to the church. So,
All right. Yeah,
just because
straight
the
to the
road
garrison.
does just lead there.
Oh, that's good.
Just a quick aside. Sheik, how much longer can you stick around? You're still around.
I could probably stick around for like a bit longer, but I have to be up at 6,
Okay.
and so like I can't go
Yeah,
super
too much
late.
further.
Yeah.
In that case, let's handle what Sigus is going to share with the mayor right now.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens to the rest of the party without you being able to lay hands on them for now.
Okay.
All right, so give me just 1 second. I need to take off some of my clothes because it is fucking picking up heat in Argentina, and holy hell, we're supposed to be still in winter or just barely spring. And it
It's
is
a bad sign.
fucking 30 degrees right now.
You're taking all the heat from us. How dare you?
Yeah, we lost it all.
It's funny because it's been hot as fuck here, and it's finally cooling down. And
Oh man.
Stop sending the heat from fucking Arizona to Argentina, please.
Today.
Stop.
Today was the first day I could like clearly see like full clouds to my breath in the morning.
Oh god.
That was last week for me.
We went from
It's still
having
like 30 degrees here.
we went from having 14 degrees yesterday to 28 degrees today. It literally doubled the temperature.
Fuck yeah, bud.
Damn.
It's like, no. I left for work with a fucking pullover and a suit on top of it. And by the time that I got to the office, my shirt was transparent.
Damn.
Damn.
Anyway, back to the game.
That's gross.
Yes, absolutely. Back to the game. Sigis, you've been at the mayor's office for a while now. What information would you like to disclose, if you're withholding any?
Oh, I think I'm going like most. I will like have separated of any of the notes I had made on like the more relative to basically I'm kind of keeping some of the spells and like ancient Thessalonian stuff,
Okay.
but being like, they were researching here because like just kind of throwing like they're researching ancient Thessalonian but really not getting into the weeds and more like that's why they were there,
Okay.
but they seem to be aligned all the goblins. I was seeing things about goblin troop numbers. I know they had at some point they had a mention the father's body from the cemetery, of like detailed defenses of Sandpoint that seemed like not just like looking from the outside, but were pretty detailed. A lot of those papers though I don't have copies of. It was kind of like peering at the desk and then I just like sideswiped all of them.
Okay.
Or half of them. So
here's a specific question that I need you to tell me. Do you tell them about what you found after you were teleported the first time? When you were in those 3 small rooms?
I would tell them about lots of influences, but not necessarily.
Kendra will ask you like what happened to you that you didn't die, but like the question is how much into detail do you go? Oh, I just got teleported somewhere else and then I managed to escape.
Yeah, there were these. I can tell her about there are these symbols and they're the runes and they seem to be an old form of magic and that I'm looking into it. And I'm not really sure what activated them when they got in or what activated when they got out, but I'm continuing doing research and some of these papers will help. I'm going to try and come across more confident but without revealing a lot of
Okay.
else.
Give me in that case a bluff check. You're trying to specifically withhold information in the middle of a narration of events.
Up here. Oh, this will be great. Is it great?
Natural one. Oh no, okay.
That's incredibly average.
Yeah, incredibly average. So it kind of sort of
that could have been
gives
so
you a little
bad.
bit of a look when you sort of skim over your journey back. Like, right, but okay, but what were the place where you were? Where is it exactly? What did it look like? You said that there were some runes on the wall and you activated them, but like, is that part of the same place? Is it somewhere else?
I don't mind explaining like the area around. I think it could be important, but I don't actually know is like some ideas, but it was, this seems like something that we could potentially use later if we can kind of crack this.
Okay.
One rune that was, in one of the old walls, and one was there. There's probably some elsewhere.
Okay.
And don't really know how they worked.
We'll have to keep that in mind. I'm not an expert in magic, but I'm afraid that perhaps if you were able to get there from here, you might some extraneous force might be able to make it from there to here.
I can I've seen, I have a sketch of some of the symbols, and what we can do is we can try and
Make it your priority to find out how those work.
will do.
All right.
I might reach out to others and get some help, because this is. I'm gonna reach out to my friend. I forget the bookkeeper's name of like all the old tombs.
Brothers Quink.
I'll talk to.
That's his name, Brodert Quink.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, all right. Yes. Getting Brodert to help you might be a good idea. All right. Baylor, any suggestions? Any way that you can ease my mind at least for 5 minutes?
Look, the situation isn't exactly optimal, but what Sig is saying is accurate. Well, we don't need to deal with the goblins right now. Looks like possibly their chain of command starts this half-demon lady. Say, Sigus, would you be able to just describe it to an artist? Could they, to get a little bit of a better idea of who we're dealing with? Perhaps they're a wanted criminal somewhere area.
I could try. I can also provide the watch with because I forget, could the symbols be like seen apart from detect magic? Like, were they?
I
What
think they
watch?
glowed.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Which item are you talking about?
Right, the transportation symbols. Going back, because I was thinking I have a sketch of them, so I could also be like, if anyone sees one of these.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They can
So.
be. Well, you know that they don't usually appear in their glowing form without somebody getting near to them at the.
Yeah.
But anyways, I can give that to them, and that it'll
Sure.
be like worst case, no one finds anything, and it's useless.
I'll keep one or two of my men. Now, right. So I was saying, it is quite possible that this half-demon lady is head this organization might have been leading these goblins. So it's quite likely, with their main force taken out and their way back onto mainland cut off, that we might have bought ourselves some time. Do you think you could saddle up, they say, and perhaps get a few more mercenaries? Could gather a few of my men. You have better help at hand. Head on back there. We do need to finish her off, but I can't exactly leave the town unprotected.
I understand. I guess we'll see what we can find. There's lots of people passing through, and we can. Oh, but I guess yeah, we'll see who we can find and go from there.
Right.
Pass them any information about the wizard, but the guys we lost are gonna be hard to replace. They were, and
No, I understand. They were beloved in town. With the situation as it is, we must take the offensive before we're back on back foot.
I agree, and we'll do what I can.
All right.
Sigis, while you're having this conversation, you look at the window behind Kendra, and she seems to be looking at the papers and then sort of shifting her attention between you and the papers. And behind her, outside the window, you see a very familiar bird, sort of with its face pressed up against the window, trying to look inside.
Awesome.
Hey.
Just be like,
The
does the
return.
window open?
The
Does
window
it
is
fit
closed.
open? Is it open?
It's closed right now. Like
Does
it's
it
not
open?
locked,
Or
but
no?
it's not
Yeah.
pulled up.
I'm just gonna go let in my bird, and I'm just gonna go
As soon as you pull
straight
the
up.
window open a little bit, is it Corvax? Corax.
Rex.
Them
Corax.
Warhammer
Okay, yeah.
references.
Corax just like slips under the opening and starts flying about, and you hear a scream from Kendra as she sort of ducks down, scared of the bird that she hadn't expected, and you see
Oh, yeah.
Baylor sort of go.
Sorry. Yeah, so I'll just hold him.
Finally back.
Yes, I've missed you too, and give him little scratches, little
Good,
one-finger
master back.
scratches.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll give them all the information, especially on like the wizard too, and I'll say I can keep deciphering through this, going through all the Thessalonian research. I'll let you know if there's anything, and there's any updates, I can also send. We'll either let you know, or we'll send a letter for you.
Good. All right. You go work on that. Kendra, is there anything else we need Sigis for?
Well, look, Sigis, I know that you're back in town. Until I can make a public announcement about your erroneous assumption of being dead, could you lay low for the time being? I'll make an announcement tomorrow first thing in the morning.
Wait, does everyone here think I'm dead? The whole town?
I'm afraid so. We assume you have been consumed in an explosion. I don't know if you saw the northern gate was missing a portion of it.
No, that makes sense. He's just not very world-wise.
Of course. Well, we did hold a small but quite quaint service in your memory while you were gone. So most people do believe that you are dead. Some of them might not have recognized you.
What? You guys had a funeral?
I'm afraid
Did?
so.
We had biscuits.
Sandpoint accused of necromancy.
Next time, Judge
Oh my
Judy.
gosh.
You might also want
the funeral.
to visit your uncle. he is currently under trial for deliberate misuse of explosives.
Deliberate. Oh, well, I thought it was the fuse. Well, anyway, maybe I can help at some other time. I would love to.
Yes,
This is
we do have some other much more pressing subjects at
Yes.
hand.
obviously.
Once the fire has been quelled, perhaps we can visit this again.
Best.
I'll make sure that the trial isn't moved forward until then.
And I guess more impressive funeral. But that is moving on. So this is just gonna trail off into awkwardness. Stare around uncomfortably.
All
Classic
right.
wizard things.
Well, you can head out and start getting into your studies. Sheriff Baylor and I will handle some delicate city matters. Just have Linda show you the way out.
Alright, he's gonna like Korax like in his coat and like pop his collar a bit to hide, trying to be inconspicuous. It is not a great job.
Wow, Master is not very good at hiding.
Shut up.
I mean, he was pretty good at hiding when everyone thought he was dead, but
As he gets pushed into the coat.
It's a secret.
Gotcha.
Alright. Alright, Sheik, if you need to go, as Sig is gonna go off to visit his very good friend and mentor, to do a little bit more in-depth research into what awaits the group.
Awesome.
Feel free to
Thanks so much,
depart,
guys.
and I hope you enjoyed the session so far.
Did so yeah, sorry I was did a bad recap too. And if you guys need me to do any research, he'd love to help out. So I'm gonna have some downtime because I'm gonna be on like trains tomorrow too. A lot of trains.
Fun.
So yeah,
we can
fun.
we can
Trains,
figure
automobiles.
out what's going on with Siggy's a little bit of back and forth via text
Perfect.
then. All right.
Cool.
I look
Off you
forward
go.
to Sigis meeting you all and him to be very underwhelming.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to the rest of our characters. If you're talking about underwhelming.
Right?
So, all right. Well, and yeah, I look forward to chatting soon.
All right.
Yeah, bud.
Alright.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, all right?
Bye.
Sounds good.
Peace.
Peace,
Peace.
bruh.
All right.
And then there was 4.
and then there were 4.
And there were 4.
4.
Yeah.
Well, let's head
The
over
number.
to see what's going on with Red. Red.
That's the old fat man's feed bag.
Yes, the Fat Man's Feed Bag. A bar that very few people frequent, and even less so willingly. You find the sort of back house. The 2 men, as per usual, having a little bit of a smoke and a drink at the door, nonchalantly looking at whoever comes by. And just as you approach, the sort of the man with a pipe sort of pulls it out and goes like, no way, that Red coming back already?
Oh, it's good to see you. Or fuck, I just went Scottish. Oh my god.
Fuck it, go. All elves are now Scottish for some fucking
Oh.
reason.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Feel the
just,
pain.
Easy.
Easy
just
clap.
where did it go? Sorry, I gotta find the accent again. Anyway, he
Take
would-
a minute. Take a minute.
okay.
Yeah.
Where did it?
No, I just wanna.
Hello. How are you guys doing? You didn't expect to see me back so fast, did you?
Oh,
There
mate,
you go.
you're. No. We were expecting you to come back in pieces. You know, one finger at a
Eh,
time.
those bloody gits in Magma, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I gotta send fucking me all the way out there. They can't keep me in town because fucking Beto was crawling up my arse. And we got, and then they sent me out to Magmar, and then there's this stupid friggin' dang, the, the fucking Assassins Guild over there is fucking around with the Skarnari. Like, I, I don't, I don't get it. It don't make sense.
Right, yeah. Look, we know. You can't argue with the boss. He says you gotta go, you know?
Yeah, true that.
And, well, things have been a little bit of a boom. No? Coin has been flowing, brother.
Yeah, I heard a bit about that while I was in Magma. Thought I heard the explosion from there. So what?
It wasn't us, brother, but
I'm
it was.
gonna follow up with Boss Man, but I might have a chat with you about what the fuck has been going on here while I've been gone.
We'll have a chat over drinks. Just go on over.
Hey,
And they sort of pat you on the back as you get past them and into the bar. And sure enough, you see at the back table, um, going over some very tight poker game with three others. You see the boss, aka Jubrail Jubrail Jubrail.
is that how you pronounce it? I could not figure that out.
I think it's pronounced Jubrail. Hang
That's
on.
why he has everybody call him the boss.
Yeah, that's why.
Because nobody fucking say his name.
Yeah, Jubrail Visky.
Risky.
Jubrail.
Okay.
You see the boss, aka Jubrail, off in the back playing that tight poker game, and sort of looks over from the table, looks at you, gives you a little bit of a squint, looks back at the cards, puts down his hand, and you see that all three others at the table go, "Oh, come on!" And they throw up their hands on the table. And he just scoops up a bounty of about 50 gold pieces. Back
3
towards
aces
him.
or whatever.
And as you get closer, you see that they're playing with a Harrow deck, which
Oh.
is a little bit of a weird thing. But they are playing they're not playing poker. They're playing a game that consists of essentially highs and lows, but with three different positions on the table for each person. And they're essentially trying to trick each other into bet on how high they can go. It's similar to what is it called?
Blackjack?
No. Bullshit. The game with the die.
Oh, bullshit!
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
similar
yeah,
to
yeah.
bullshit, but with cards. And it's two-dimensional. So instead of just playing a higher value, you have value and also a suit of the card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can play bullshit with a deck of cards. I've done that before.
Yeah.
We go off
Um,
suit as well.
Yeah, they include suit as well as value. And he's just tricked the other three into an impossible hand as he reveals that he has 9, 8, and 7 of crowns, which is the highest possible you can go on crowns, which is the second highest suit, which is like, okay, I guess we lose. And as he pulls in the rest of the coins, he looks at you and gestures for you to take a seat at the table, and he just snaps his fingers and just dismisses one of the others.
He'll kind of like pull a chair up and like kick his boots up on the table and go like, Oh, how you doing, boss man?
Feet off the table. You know the rules.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I just got off the worst fucking boat trip you can imagine, and you're making me take my fucking feet off the table. All right, fine. Oh, anyway, your problem in Magnemar's all dealt with. Those... Apparently, it was a fucking Assassin's Guild over there that was giving us the issues, but I won't be troubling nobody no more.
Good. I'm guessing you got the trouble dealt for with.
Minimal
Or,
bloodshed, as
cousin?
is my way.
Alright. No
You know
loose
how it
ends,
works. We've been working together for like 20 odd years now.
and you never cease to give me a migraine. Now, look, is the trouble dealt with, and are there any loose ends? I'm just asking. Gotta.
Well, I think I paid everyone off that needs to be paid off. The one loose end won't be talking too much. He probably pissed off, but he's a dumbass, so I don't even think he would know where to look. He's a local thug. I won't
He
worry.
squints at you.
Have you been spreading your title around again?
Which one? One with your name on it, or the others?
Red.
I heard you guys have quite a bit of action while I was gone, though. Could use the hand.
Look. Let me put it this way. The cost of keeping you around is starting to scale up a little bit too high. It seems the numbers are not up to par.
Come on, boss. You picked me off the streets like the rest of the people in here. You know that I would do anything for this family. You know that. Just set me straight. Tell me what I need to do, who I need to talk to. You know what I'm saying? And we'll make
Ready,
the issue
boy.
go away.
First off, shush. Second off, I would expect you to have a little bit more respect for the lessons I give you every time you come back. I should not be clarifying. You need to keep a low profile every time I send you off to pull in some heads. I want you all silenced, not spreading the Red Death's name, especially not Visky's blade.
Visky's tooth, I'll have you know. I changed it up. You said Visky's blade was no good, and I thought tooth sounded cooler. Okay,
You see his face
take,
sort of contort somewhere between I'm trying to stay angry and God damn it, that was actually kind of funny.
I take your point, though. I take your point.
Okay.
Tell you what, there's gotta be something around here I can do. Something low profile where you need some ends taken care of, but you can kind of keep an eye on me at the same time, you know, so I can prove myself, show that I can do things with the low profile.
Fine. I have a little bit of a job for you, Red. Last chance to make dear old Papa proud.
When we say last chance, how last chance we talking here? Like last chance before I stop paying you, or last chance before my head ends up in a gutter somewhere?
Put your hand on the table, Red.
He'll kind of like give him a shifty eye and put his non-dominant hand on the table.
As soon as your hand touches the table, you see a blur of an arm reach for his dagger to the side and stabs your hand through and like sticks it to the table.
Fuck! Oh god damn it!
He's sort of
What the
holding the dagger there. Last chance, ready, boy.
Okay, get your bloody fucking dagger out of my
Pulls
hand.
it
I
out.
need that.
Stabs the dagger back on the table somewhere else.
Oh, fuck! What the hell? I get it. Jesus, you just had to say it. Didn't have to stab through my bloody hand.
I know how things tend to go through one ear of yours and go out the other.
Fuck, well, they've gone through my hand now too, haven't they?
I guess the second set of scars might mind you a bit. Now,
Hey, you'll never let me forget that one, will you? You think I don't remember it when I look in a mirror? Mirror?
that was kind of the point. Now, Zibbit. Last chance, ready boy. I need you to do a little bit of a job for me. At least this time it doesn't require your usual subtlety. But
Hey.
there's
Well,
a little bit
I'm
of
a very convincing person. You know that, boss. That's why you let me do things.
He sort of looks at you and gives you that stare that says, "Another word, and I'm stabbing your head through."
Okay. Okay.
quick little job. Make it clean, make it easy, and perhaps I'll see about giving a little bit of a cut proportional.
Oh. Well, now that'll be interesting.
Right. There's this kid who had been mucking about town while you were gone. Profitable little bounty in his head. Still on the fence what to do with him. Now, not actually I was about. He brought me some interesting information. A bit of a ring worth quite a good pay. Now, the source for the ring, half elven man by the name of Zuto Kaijitsu. Yes, it is the half-piled.
You mean the old bloke on the hills kid? That one?
Well, if it's his kid, it's still up for debate, but
I heard the rumors just as much as you have, boss.
Alright. Look, find him. He should be at the garrison, prisoner. You're beating up his sister. Find him. Squeeze him for a little bit more information on where he got little engagement ring. Break some fingers, cut some toes. And just care about the info. And then,
Wow.
once you got that, might need to make a little trip. Bring in the good haul, you know?
I gotcha. So how would Suto be considered a loose end, as you put it earlier?
Once you're done with him, cut him loose.
Got it.
Good. Alright. Now go wash off.
Oh shit! I missed that one. Oh, you mean them from my hand, right? I thought you were talking about the stuff on the other one. Got a little bit of a scrape on the boat ride back. No need to worry though.
I never.
And
Um,
he like runs out of the bar before, like, kind of scampers out of the bar before the boss can slow him down.
Yeah. All right. Dorbin.
Yeah.
You went off to visit the
Sheriff.
which it would take a couple minutes as they sort of stall trying to find the sheriff, and just a moment later they send you off to just across the road to where the town hall is. You see a wizard-looking fellow. It is, as it's quite obvious from their attire and the tome bound to their hip, sort of come out just as you're going in.
I give him a little nod as I continue moving in.
You see a rather minuscule human at the front desk, address you as you come in. Hello. What can I do for you today? Are you here for a visit, consultation, permits?
I was sent to talk to the sheriff.
The sheriff seems to be in an important meeting with the mayor. You will have to wait for it. About.
How long was the wait?
It seemed to be quite agitated, and I think about an hour should be their usual mark.
Hour. Alright, I guess. Then Dorbin will just plop down in the middle of the floor.
I mean, there are chairs lining the sides of the main hall.
That's fine. He will plop down in the middle of the floor.
Sir, there are chairs available. You can wait over there.
This is fine. And he's just gonna stare at the door, just waiting.
He sort of pulls back and goes like, "Sir, there is someone else before you waiting to see the mayor. Is it terribly urgent?"
I mean, I would like to get to killing some goblins at some point.
Oh,
I've got all day to just sit here.
What is your name, sir?
Dorbin, Plate Rock.
All right, I'll notify the mayor that you're looking for an a goblin extermination job, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Would that be
How
agreeable?
soon is as soon as possible?
Get it. I could get it to where you're staying by tonight.
Alright. Where's a good place to stay here?
I would recommend either the Rusty Dragon or the White Deer. Sorry, White Stag. Opposite ends of town. You should be a little bit closer to the White Stag from here. They do have better rooms. Like quite
Sounds
a bit
good
of
to me. Let's
accommodation.
go there.
They've recently been renovating, but you might find that it's a little bit. You'll see it when you get there.
Alright.
Alright.
He'll just turn around and leave.
Yep. All right.
Also, using for a dwarf.
Come again?
He's incredibly quick for a dwarf. I have 30-foot base movement speed.
Oh, wow.
You speedy dwarf.
A speedy dwarf.
In like heavy medium armor and
Spider dwarf.
almost a heavy load.
Whatever a spider
Jesus.
dwarf does.
All right.
But dwarves are unencumbered by weight or armor, so.
All right.
hilarious.
Silera.
And he gets 10 feet from Traveler.
Yeah.
Silera.
Yes.
A few moments after you arrive to your room, relax perhaps for a moment, you would hear a soft knock on the door, and you hear Bethana's voice going, "Sweetie, can I come in?"
Sure.
And as she sort of tries the door, opens it up very gently, and peeks in. Um, I warmed some water for you if you'd like to take a bath.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Right. Would you like me to bring your supper up when it's ready?
Um, yeah. Yes, please.
And as you give her permission, she opens up the door fully and walks back over to a rather large tub of warm water, which she struggles a little bit to bring into the room, and with a little bit of a machination, she manages to pour it into the corner tub that is in the room. Um, she leads you to it, and just before she leaves, um, I'll bring you some fresh towels in just a moment, and I'll get you your supper ready.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I'll see you in a moment. And she closes the door once more, leaving you alone. With all right.
I don't move. I don't move yet.
All right. Are you sitting on the bed? Just
Yeah.
okay. Um, what is Silera feeling like right now?
Oh, she was able to lay down just a little bit. She is feeling a little bit better rested, but she knows that when she gets a bath and some food that feel I'll feel a little bit more like myself.
Okay.
And I think that after that I would be able to kind of get up, and I know that that as sad as I am, there's something bigger at hand that I need to keep going, even though I don't want to. So I just need to kind of get myself put together and make myself go back out and figure out what needs to be done next.
Okay. Perhaps a few moments too long have gone by the time she gets up, and as you manage to get to enjoy a little bit of the bath, the water seems to be a little bit lukewarm, um, and it just feels like you're not quite getting all that grime off of you. Feels Still feels a little bit heavy, with the odor of horse and forest and smoke and dirt and sweat and blood, um, just permeating your skin. You try to wash it off, it just quite doesn't get all the way through, um, as you rinse off over and over again. But sure enough, about an hour later, Bethana uh, lets you know that she's left the tray with your dinner at your door, um, and not to worry about bringing the tray back down. Um, I think, unfortunately, as the party is sort of strangled, strangled in the different parts of Sandpoint, and we've just only barely begun to learn about all of our delicious new characters. It is where we're gonna have to end the session for tonight.
No.
Good.
No, that was a good session.
Yeah, man.
All right. I hope
Cool.
everyone enjoyed it. We did have to do quite a bit of setup for all the new characters.
Yeah.
And also I did
Sorry
want to
for dying.
Yeah. But
Well,
real,
if you
though.
played
the
better,
thing is,
it wouldn't be a problem. Jesus.
it's not really a problem. The thing is, I'm not gonna just like grab new characters and go like, oh yeah, fuck it, just join the party. No, we need setup.
Yeah, exactly.
We need character development, my dudes.
There needs to be
Absolutely.
plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that way it'll be like,
Thick
sad
plot.
when these ones died again.
Did you just say that, Robert?
Sick.
Alright. That
He's
being
muted, so I can't hear him.
Oh, I'm muted. Fuck.
said. Oh.
Yeah.
No, like for me
I
only.
mean, I was also
Oh, you
muted,
were
so
muted,
nobody else heard me say thick
Oh.
plot before you
Oh.
said it.
So,
Thick plot.
guys, that is gonna be the session. I'm just gonna call stream here. So, you want
Bye,
to say
Bye,
anything?
stream.
Bye,
Chat.
chat. We love you.
I hope my voice
Bye.
didn't hurt your ears.